I love Super People, probably more than most people do, because it reminds me so much of the game that actually got me to build a PC in the first place, which was PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I think the game has something really special going for it, but unless it takes a look at these 5 things that I'm going to talk about in today's video, and actually does something about them, I fear that the game could never realize its full potential. By the way, these 5 things are in no particular order and all need to be looked at equally. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number 1 is blue zone damage, as in the earlier zones need to chunk for more damage. But let me explain. I played a solo game today and got some footage of me purposely being outside the zone for as long as I possibly could. The blue zone is so incredibly broken that I was actually able to get 4th place by just running around out there collecting meds and healing myself. I also got to max level by the time I died. You see, in games like this, it's expected that sometimes you're going to be stuck outside of the circle, whether due to poor looting or just a bad drop. The problem is that for a large portion of the game, you can just stay outside the zone with basically no penalties. In my testing, I found that the first zone chunks for 1 HP a tick. The second zone also chunks for 1 HP a tick. The third zone will deal 2 HP a tick. The fourth will deal 5. And if you somehow manage to make it to the zone after that, it's going to start dealing 8 damage a tick. Now, I think that the later zones do plenty of damage. I don't think those need to be looked at all. But the first 3 do 1, 1, and 2 respectively. Why not make it 1, 2, 3 to encourage getting in bounds earlier in the game? It wouldn't be a total game changer, but I do think it would shape things in the right direction and prevent players from becoming fully looted entirely out of zone. Number 2, bots. As in, the bots of Super People are pretty ridiculous. Now, I know the bots are just there to fill up space and you rarely do come across them, but whenever you do actually come across them, I feel like it takes you completely out of the experience. The bots act very body, and it's really noticeable. I think the AI could use a tune-up, and maybe we should reconsider having bots in the game at all. But what do you guys think? Have you come across any bots yourself? Number 3 is class balancing. In a game like this where you have different characters with different abilities, balancing the classes is already going to be a monumental task. But I think I've already stumbled upon some glaring issues that need to be addressed sooner rather than later, like the sniper class. Super People is still so young right now that everything is fun and new to everybody. But here pretty soon, people are going to start to figure out the metas and figure out just how strong some of these classes really are. The sniper obviously gets huge damage buffs with the sniper rifle, but it also gets a perk that increases AR damage. Most classes don't get 2 huge damage buffs, let alone the 2 best weapons in the game, snipers and ARs. If you're an extremely aggressive player, the sniper class is going to be your best friend. You can hit a really high damage shot with a sniper rifle and then immediately pull out your AR for a full auto spray that does massive damage, usually finishing the enemy off. Once everyone starts to pick up on this, you're going to see the sniper class become more meta. To balance this, I think they should take away the AR damage increase and replace it with something like an SMG damage increase, or even something that's not damage related at all, like reload speed. And that's just one class. Plenty of other classes need a reviewing or some nerfs or some buffs. Let me ask you this, what do you think is the most broken class in Super People right now? I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about it. Number 4, utilities, as in grenades, molotovs, etc. I love using the utilities. It's something I've been doing pretty much in every game. Every time I come across a grenade, I try and pick it up as long as I can. They're incredibly useful, but most players haven't really figured that out yet. However, I think it's for the best if we got rid of that little indicator that told you exactly where the grenade was going to land. As it stands right now, you can throw utilities with laser precision, and don't get me wrong, I like that a lot, but I think for the balancing of the game, it should only show you the arc that the grenade is going to be thrown at and not exactly where it's going to land. That way you'd have to actually learn how to use the utilities and throw them the right way instead of just throwing them in the perfect spot every time. And finally, number 5, vertical audio. And this one is huge. Have you noticed it yet? The fact that the vertical audio and possibly even just the general audio sucks. I recorded the perfect example to show you what I'm talking about. And you know what? Let's turn this into a game as well. The parking garage layout looks like this. There's the ground floor, first floor, second floor, and the roof. My friend Toad, shout out to Toad, is gonna run from the roof all the way down to the ground floor. It's gonna be your job to take a guess as to where I'm standing while he's doing this. So am I A, on the roof, B, on the second floor, C, on the first floor, or D, on the ground floor? Okay, here we go. Okay, are your answers locked in? Because I'm about to tell you what floor I was on while he was running around. The answer was A. I was on the roof. Even if you somehow got it right, it's still incredibly difficult to pinpoint where an enemy is in a real combat scenario. The vertical audio could use a bit of a touch-up. For fun, go back and listen to that again with your eyes closed and try and tell me that you know where he is at any given time, at least what floor he's on. Even at the end when he was on the ground floor, I still had to do a double take to make sure that he wasn't right in front of me. The one saving grace is that the audio in Super People, I'd say, is less important than it is in other games. It's still important, but at least most of the time you're not fighting someone that's above or below you. They're going to be somewhere to the left or right or front back of you. Still though, I think that the audio needs to be looked at if Super People is ever going to be taken serious. I stream on twitch.tv/FinestXI if you guys ever want to come say hello. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe for more content like this. Shout out to the patrons who help support this channel, and a special shout out to the VIPs, nickRSA, doktorjohaan, calabag, Hughes6707, jokeswithdad, and defnotdallas. That's all for this one. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.